Hello out there. Check out one of the newer releases from Quartermaster Knives. What I have for you today is the QSE-12cf, which is the Quartermaster Kwaiken. So this knife right here was recently released on Instagram, and in the future these are going to be a Blade HQ exclusive. So if you want to get your hands on one of these, that is where you're going to have to find it. But of course they did release some of these online, and so I decided to pick it up sight unseen. And so I chose the version here with carbon fiber handles, so you can check those out. There is also a titanium handled version as well. The pocket clip, I'm not sure if it is reversible or not. It looks like it could potentially be because of these tabs. Most likely on this side. I don't know about tip down though. But they call it the invisible pocket clip because I would imagine on the titanium version of this knife it would blend very well in with the finish, whereas on the carbon fiber version I have here, of course not quite. Now this just arrived today, so I really have very few opinions on it, but I do want to show it anyway. Because it is kind of a unique design for Quartermaster in that it is a small, lightweight folding knife, something they're not really too known for. But of course, being a Kwaiken design, there are naturally going to be some comparisons between this knife here and the Boker Kwaiken, which was released several years ago. And for the Boker Kwaiken, they have several different types and styles of that knife. I do have the original Boker Kwaiken, so I'm going to kind of compare them just side by side before I even go any further. You can see them right next to one another. You'll notice the original Kwaiken, Boker Kwaiken here, is a little bit larger. And now they have come out with a mini Boker Kwaiken, which I imagine is closer in size to the Quartermaster. But I just wanted to show you the overall length comparison, because this Quartermaster Kwaiken is a small knife. The width is very similar. It's almost identical in terms of width. And now this Kwaiken here is the original they came out with, which also has the ball bearings in it on the pivot. And this one was modded for a flipper because it wasn't naturally a flipper, although they do have flippers in this type of knife now. Whereas the Quartermaster, this was purpose-built to be a flipping knife. So it does have a flipper tab right there with some jimping on top. And the action right out of the box was not too impressive. It works when you just kind of push button it. But one of the things that drew me to this Kwaiken style knife is the tanto tip, because again that's kind of uncommon on this style of knife, because I do like how it just drops right into that. I do know that they are going to come out with an XL version of this knife, which will have both the tanto and a drop point version of the blade, and I believe it's much larger as well. This blade here is about 3.12 inches or something like that, so it's not a very large knife. Overall length is 7.2 inches when it's opened. On the top right there, you're going to see some jimping on the blade. So when you hold it, you can feel it. It's not terribly substantial, but it's better than just a completely smooth surface. You can see the markings, USA and the Q. And you might have noticed it a little earlier, but this is 1 out of 300, and the number of this one, it's hard to make out here, because the engraving matches very well with the finish, but that does say 86 out of 300. And so of course that matches the corresponding card that it came with, the 12cf, 86 out of 300. And as far as I know, they're not making any more colors of this knife in terms of blade color, like the limo tint or the Texas T finish. So I think this might be it. So the Stonewash Tanto tip, S35 VN steel. Edge out of the box is okay. It's not hair popping sharp. I was trying it on some paper earlier, but is serviceable. And you can see the lockup right here. Again, the lockup is also very reminiscent to me of the Boker. You can see the cutouts and everything very similar like. So I just wanted to show this off a little bit. Again, these will be available on Blade HQ in either titanium or carbon fiber. I have a hard time picking up the carbon fiber on the camera. It's not really showing off too well in this light. But it does look pretty handsome. Not sure if I'm going to keep this one though. I fell in love with it in the pictures, but once it's in hand you realize how small it is. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this one or not. The flipping action is not kind of what I expect straight out of the box, but we'll see how it wears in. And at the price they're asking for it, of course, it's kind of a higher price knife, so I would expect a little better out of their quality control. But again, to be one of the first ones to buy it, that's kind of the price you have to pay. I'm the one showing you so you can make a decision for yourself. But it's really a pretty knife. You know, it's nice to look at. Check out the centering there. If you have any questions, let me know. But I just wanted to show it off a bit. The QSE-12cf. Thanks for watching.